No way.
If you would, we'll go ahead and call this regular city council meeting to order, July 22nd, 2019, 5:30 p.m. And if you would, Mayor Pro Tem Tice, lead us in prayer and pledge.
Father, I thank you that we're able to be here tonight, serve as the council members for the city. Lord, I ask that you lead and guide us in all the decisions that we have to make. Father, protect all those that serve our country and serve us here in our city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Bailey?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Tice? Councilmember Baden?
Here.
Councilmember Bourne?
Here.
Councilmember Hoyer?
Here. Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. First item will be the approval of the minutes from the July 8, 2019 regular city council meeting.
Make a motion we approve the minutes of the July 8, 2019 city council meeting as they are read. Stan?
We have a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes as written for July 8, 2019 regular city council meeting. Any questions or comments over that? Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Bates? Aye. Councilmember Bourne?
Aye.
Councilmember Hoyer? Mayor Pro Tem Tice?
Aye.
For the approval of the minutes as written for July 8, 2019 regular city council meeting. Are there any citizen comments or reports? First item is 6A, will be consider approval of the water conservation plan for the city of Rhodes, includes ordinance number 2019-09, adopting a revised water conservation plan dated June 2019.
Mayor and Council, this particular plan was needed to be updated in the water plant, and their staff did most of the work, and then we sent Sean Rodenholt for the final approval or the final touches. And I believe it already has gone to TCEQ and it has been approved. So we need council to go ahead and adopt it and approve it as well.
Mayor, can we approve ordinance 2019-09?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of ordinance 2019-09. If you'll read the subtitle.
Thank you, Mayor. The caption of the ordinance reads, an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Rhodes, Texas by repealing Article 7, Water Conservation, Chapter 27, Utilities, and enacting in its place an ordinance adopting a revised water conservation plan dated June 2019, which provides for availability of plan for inspection, providing for implementation of the program, providing a repealer clause, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for publication by publishing the caption only, and providing an effective date.
All right, we have a motion. Second, any questions on ordinance 2019-09? Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Baden? Aye. Councilmember Bourne?
Aye.
Councilmember Hoyer?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Tice?
Aye.
For the approval of ordinance number 2019-09. Thank you, City Attorney. Item 6B will be consider approval of the specific use permit for a cell tower to be located at 3410 Pure Atlantic Road.
Don, that's the information.
Okay.
John Strauss, the city building official. Now, there is a representative here from Verizon who can tell you probably more technical terms, because I'm not really not about technical cell towers. It's located at 3410 Pure Atlantic, which is almost adjacent from Powell Street, where it ends out down to Highway 365, I'm sorry, 366. Next to it is a residential home if you're looking at it from the photos, something residential homes on the right-hand side, and then there's a business metal building on the left side. Right now, of course, to make it lot, nothing. In order to put a cell tower there, we'll have to have a specific use permit, and that's why we're requesting that.
Mayor, I have a question. Or do you need a motion first?
We need a motion, yes.
I move we approve the water tower at said address.
Cell tower.
Cell tower.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the approval of the specific use permit for Verizon cell tower. Any questions?
Is that going to be covering the entire property or just a section of that piece?
No, it's a monopole, which means it's one pole. It's like the cell tower behind Mr. Bell's garage, similar to that. I don't know the exact diameter as far as base.
My name is Andrew, I'm with Verizon, and this is a 120-foot monopole tower, and we are leasing a 50-foot by 50-foot square from the property owner.
Okay. So the rest of the property is still taxable?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm assuming it's gonna be fenced off.
Yes, sir. We're required to fence it off, barbed wire on top, and a 3-man lot.
Okay, is there any access to it from the highway? Is there gonna be a driveway installed? Is there gonna be?
Yes, sir. We have access and utility easement going to the site from the road, and we will install a culvert and a crushed white limestone rock road to the site.
Does that mean everything we need for that?
That's come out of 366, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right adjacent from House Street.
That's next, okay.
So the homeowner, or the landowner is allowed to use the rest of the property to their?
Yes, sir. That is correct. We've already entered into a lease agreement with him for a 25-year lease. And he can do whatever he wants with the rest of the property.
Do you have,
Yes.
Don, do you have the actual measurements of the full property? It's not-
Yes.
Talking about lot size.
Yeah, the lot size. It's frontage and depth.
I'm not sure.
It's not actually on there.
It shows our lease size, but I'm not sure if we show the track.
Where's this 50 by 50, is that?
Let me look at. It's not even showing on my, that's why you asked that question, because it's actually not on my site. Don't have that information. Now, the depth is equal to the next door neighbor, which is 133 feet in depth. On the side of
Yeah, I
the other
see
building,
that.
that would say that was the depth would be, and then as far as the width,
Possibly like 170, probably that's 160
Probably 80.
there.
Our easement is 30 feet, so that area is 30, so I would say it's roughly 80 to 90 feet.
it driveway approaches is 30 feet.
Yes, so this L1 right here from that line, that line is 30 feet. Yes, sir.
So that leaves approximately 50 by,
80, about 50 by 80 lots.
50 by 80 left.
Councilman Warren, this is the driveway approach right here. See it? Okay. Now, that's the sorry about that. I'll have those dimensions.
Are you filling in a dead spot or?
Yes, sir, we have a need for additional coverage in the area. We do have users, we've got complaints about drop calls and poor signal in the area, and that's why we are installing the tower in a specific location. And I believe this is zone commercial. We looked at other properties in the area, and this was the only one that met Verizon requirements and also had a clear title here.
Mr. Black looked it up, it is 80 by 130.
Okay, shake hand. Any other questions? Joe? Okay. First name, we good? We had a motion Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Bailey? Aye. Councilmember Warren?
Aye.
Councilmember Hoyer?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Tyson? For the approval of water tower? I mean, sorry, water tower, Verizon wireless tower. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Don. Item 6C will be consider approval of a request to subdivide residential property located at 5801 Barrett Street and Green.
Yes, sir. Ms. Lee was requesting to subdivide her property. Of course, if you look at the aerial, there will be a metal building. That metal building is 30 by 50 itself. We have a pool also. The lot size is 9,150 square feet. With the R1, you have to have at least a minimum of 7,200, so they're over that as far as the lot size. The metal building comes up to be 1,500 square feet, and the residential home in an R1 is 1,200. So both the size of the lot and if the buyer chooses to make that a metal building a home, they do have the square footage inside underneath to do that.
Okay.
Now, there is one little problem. When it was constructed a little close to one of the side yard properties, and that clearance is 4 foot 4 inches when it should be 5, when it's supposed to be 5. So that of course, it's already a built structure, and there's not much we can do about that. But there is that it doesn't meet the side yard setback on the left-hand side.
But from here, it's not a structure, it's a driveway to them, it's not another structure, correct?
No, sir, there's a driveway and
In the home.
The home, yes, sir.
Is the driveway on the homeowner's property with the metal building and pool? That blue line, is that down the side of the driveway?
Yes, sir. I don't know exactly how much it kind of goes over into that driveway, but I think it goes over.
We have a question here. We're the property owners on the side. This is a picture of the building and our driveway. And we're concerned about property values and the drop in the use of our homes.
Can you give your name and address? Your name?
Steve.
And what's your address?
5448 Green Avenue.
Okay.
Well, Verizon, yeah, we probably have a lot of jobs. We have a leader in the area, and it's all about the data usage now, but we actually have a switch of data users on one tower, shut the entire thing. So like, more locations, we have to yeah. And it's like the strain, the fog, that affects them. If there's a lot of users on it at one time during peak hours, the coverage area probably during the day, nobody during the day, maybe it's about, if there's no users on it, we can go up to 8 or 9. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The property owner, okay, yeah, I'm working with Ryan.
Mayor, I suggest our legal department check into any possible personal or civil issues that we might exasperate or
We have the report. Don, is it went before P and Z or anything?
Yes, sir.
It's normally we get the attached minutes from the meeting.
I'm sorry.
Normally we get the attached minutes from that meeting.
I'm sorry.
I remember that.
forgot to.
Or if you guys feel better if you table it until we get to the minutes. As long as that's.
can you tell us what the P and Z voted?
It was unanimous to bring before council approval.
So that's her approval.
suggest we table it until we look at what our obligation and property owner's obligations
We're
are.
gonna table this item, and then if you would get us copies of the minutes from that meeting.
For the next meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do they have a print of the building and the structure certification?
I don't know, because I don't know exactly when this was built.
Because that
Can you
structure-
tell us when it was
Yeah,
built?
have no print. That structure has to meet,
Look at me.
to live in, it has to meet city requirements.
It's probably 2009.
Is that correct with Don?
Well, yes, sir, typically they.
To be able to turn that into a home, it would have to meet city requirements as a home.
Well, even to build it, they had to meet the basic wind speed, which is 120. We only required to keep the plans for residential, plans for 5 years.
How long ago was it built?
That's why I was just asking, I think you said 2009.
No, it was before then. It was probably, I don't know.
So more than likely, we won't have any plans.
It's almost like 20 years.
Yeah, it's 20 or older.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to say. And if that building meets, our basic wind speed.
Well, I'm not
The
concerned
purpose of
about the
subdividing.
windstorm, I'm concerned about the placement.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 5 foot.
From that property
From
line,
that property.
Correct.
It doesn't.
And it's 4 foot, correct?
4 foot 4, 4 foot 5, something like that.
What about the original permit?
I would have to check on
Isn't
that.
there a copy of all the permits of every building that's been, a permit's
Yes,
been pulled on?
it should have something there.
So if a building, any building, you ought to be able to pull the address up and where the building's at on the property and go pull a permit for it anywhere.
I would think so, but like I said, not, it being constructed before I got here, I would have to do some research.
Yes.
So you would like to see the permits when?
And that would tell you something.
Yeah. If you would, we'll table this item, and if you can get those minutes from that PNC meeting for us, because that's normally we read.
More than likely, we won't have any plans on it. Because
Yeah, I understand that.
I don't.
Just what you can find, you just put it in your packet,
Okay.
and get it, we'll put it on 2 weeks.
I personally like to see this permit.
So is the plan to subdivide and sell, or subdivide and create a home out
To sell.
of it? To sell as is?
Right.
So the buyer of the property would have to do all the upgrades in order to do that?
That's correct. Yes.
So is it legal for us to have an accessory building on its own lot,
So,
according to our city?
there was one that was passed while I was here on Whitaker, that they subdivided, and they had a garage there that was actually below,
Was it Mr. Jones?
no, that was, Winston planning, not planning, Board of Appeals.
Oh, Board.
So they didn't have to actually come before you. It was on Whitaker, I can't remember the people's names, but it was one of the first ones I done, I think back in February. And, it was a garage, and it's like 900 square feet. And it was real below the square footage for a living area, and that was kind of.
Mayor, I actually applied for and got a variance on that 4 foot issue when I built a piece of property years ago. And I had to come in front of the board and request that, and it was given. And I would like you to check and see if that was given to those people the way it was supposed to be done, to build over, that 5 foot mark.
I would probably say they didn't do any actions like that.
Well, I don't know, I'm asking.
I wouldn't know.
It would probably be on the permit.
Yes.
I'm sure when they placed the foundation, it was a mistake, and it was probably on the construction side of it, that they were supposed to be at the 5 foot, but for some reason.
Yeah.
We'll check and research whatever we have, we'll bring it to the next meeting.
We'll just table it, thank you. We'll just table it 2 weeks from today, we'll review it again.
Right.
As soon as you get those minutes, just get them to Kim and she'll pass them out.
Do I need to put back into the paper again? That we're gonna-
Just get with me on
Okay.
it, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Item 7A, city attorney.
This is our ordinance number 2019-08. An ordinance of the City of Groves, Texas, setting the just and reasonable rates for the cost of service adjustment clause to be charged by Texas Gas Service Company, division of One Gas Inc. for gas service customers in the City of Groves, Texas, requiring reimbursement of rate case expenses, finding that the meeting complies with the Open Meetings Act, and declaring an effective date for this ordinance.
Now move we approve the ordinance 2019-08.
We have a motion and a second for the approval of ordinance 2019-08. Any questions or comment on the cost of service adjustment?
Do we need to say what the adjustment is?
It's on average, I can't tell you exactly.
On
but
average, 32 cents
per month.
per
Customer,
per
per customer per month. It's pretty common. They did have a little bit bigger increase when they were doing some infrastructure work and whatnot.
This is to repay them for what they had to do after
Harvey. So which they did after I can have to read as well. Any other questions over that? Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Bay?
Aye.
Councilmember Warren?
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Tice?
Aye.
For approval of ordinance number 2019-08. City Attorney, item 7B.
This is resolution number 2019-06. A resolution of the City Council of the Groves, Texas, authorizing the submission of the CDBG Disaster Recovery Program grant application to the Texas General Land Office for the Hurricane Harvey DR 4332 infrastructure project, and authorizing the mayor to act as the city's executive officer and authorized representative in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the CDBG Disaster Recovery Program.
Mayor, I move we approve resolution 2019-06.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the approval of resolution 2019-06. Any question or comments over that?